All rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Alvarez.
Here.
Councilman Cullen.
Here.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
Here.
Councilwoman Huda.
Here.
Supervisor Hay.
Here. Notation exits in the front and the rear. An electronic device, please put it on vibrate. I make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We discussed matters, but actually we discussed very little because we're going to do executive session after the meeting, but we were in it and no decision were reached on anything we discussed. There's nothing scheduled for the work session this evening. Tonight, I make a motion then to go into the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number one is a resolution adopting local law amending zoning map Barrett Hill. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby adopts local law number 7 of 2016 pursuant to general municipal home rule law amending local section, amending the law section 138-6 of the zoning code, zoning map, and zoning map authorized thereunder to map and reclassify property described as a 29-acre plus or minus parcel located at 41 Mount Eagle Road North, Brewster, New York, tax map number 46-5-2, currently zoned as an OP2- to a multifamily workforce housing district, and be it further resolved that the town clerk be and is hereby authorized and directed to A, enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting in the town code book of the town of Southeast. B, cause the zoning map of the town of Southeast to be amended to reflect the adoption of this local law. And C, give the due notice of the adoption of said local law by filing such with the Secretary of State of New York within the time required by law. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion.
Tony, this is the mapping, there were two parts
Yes,
to doing Barrett Hill, so this is the second part. The first part was passed last week.
yes,
So this is that mapping piece, okay.
right.
Also, for clarification, because last week, or 2 weeks ago, we did discuss Barrett Hill, and we did discuss the mapping briefly. But as I understand this resolution, although there is one other parcel in the town of Southeast that could be multifamily workforce housing, this just maps this particular piece of property, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
So the map will not change in any other way but for this property out at Mount Ebo?
no, it also includes the other parcel as well. Wait, this is
That's
not
not
correct.
correct. No.
This is the only
No,
one.
that's why I want to be
Just the
clear.
Barrett Hill parcel
Yeah.
as part of the
Multifam-
floating zone for multifamily workforce
Yeah,
housing.
it was the
Right.
other one that was duplicate, not this one.
Right, so, okay, I just wanted to be very clear that it's just this parcel, not any other, any other piece. Okay.
Anything else? Anything else, then?
I'm going to be voting no on this, but I think I've gone over my reasons quite consistently. I am still very concerned about workforce housing and how it's going to stand up legally if it's litigated, so I have a lot of reservations on this, but I don't have to belabor the point, so thank you.
Well, I'm not going to belabor, but I am going to state the reasons why I'm voting no. One, the project is a major deviation from the town's comprehensive plan. All the socially conscious aspects of this project, which are being used to change the zoning from age-restricted to non-age restricted housing, can all be accomplished without removing the age restriction. I do want to clarify for the record, because I've heard otherwise, that Barrett Hill won't be paying taxes. Barrett Hill is not a tax-exempt entity, and the project will pay county, town, and school taxes. Barrett Hill is located in an OP2 zone, which is a commercial zone. When commercial properties pay school taxes, the school taxes they pay benefit all the non-commercial properties in the town by offsetting what homeowners would pay in school taxes, because commercial properties generally do not put children in schools. By removing the age restriction for Barrett Hill, the project will put children in the Brewster Central School District. As a matter of fact, based on Barrett Hill's EAF and subsequent documentation submitted to the town by Barrett Hill, it is estimated that there's 168 units of housing with 251 bedrooms and as many as 670 people living in those units, will only generate 26 students to be educated in the Brewster Central School System. Barrett Hill has estimated it will cost approximately $420,810 to educate those 26 children. Personally, however, they may well end up using the estimated $657,558 it will generate in school taxes to educate up to 40.6 students, which equals out to $657,558. Bottom line, taxpayers will be picking up the approximately $62,880 or $3,700 a year savings to be enjoyed by these 17 affordable units, not the developer. Any further comment?
Well, I'll be voting for this. Last week, I voted for Part 1, so to speak. This is Part 2. As people know, we didn't vote on Part 2 last week because there was some kind of a discrepancy at the public hearing. This has been run through the public hearings a few times. The bottom line is, up until last week, there were no negative comments that were expressed by people attending the public meetings. There were a few letters last week. We had a couple of people here speaking about it. It was debatable as to whether or not one individual had voiced a negative thought about it. Therefore, we're voting on Part 2 this evening. I believe in that what has been presented to us and vetted through numerous times, worksheets, papers, you got it, lots of things, that at this point, Tony's, sort of like more pessimistic look at how many school children will not occur. And so I think it's a good thing. I like the fact that we have first responders who are going to be helped, veterans, people in the military, educators who otherwise would be spending their dollars up in Dutchess County or further up. I think it's a good thing, and I think it's a good thing for the town, so I'll be voting yes.
Anyone else?
Tony, I do want to add that my major concern is I think a lot of us were elected on the basis of trying to keep taxes low, and I concur with you. Just so everyone knows, the project in North Salem is projected to have 21 students. There are already 41 there. That's an affordable housing complex with only 65 units. So I do believe this is going to negatively impact Southeast school taxes. So I would just reiterate that for the record.
Anyone else? Roll call vote.
Councilman Alvarez.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
No.
Councilwoman Hudak.
Yes.
Supervisor Hay.
No. Number 2, resolution order establishing Birch Hill Highview Terrace Water District. Now therefore it be resolved and determined that the notice of hearing was published and posted as required by law and is otherwise sufficient. B, that all property and property owners within the proposed district are benefited thereby. C, that all property and property owners benefited are included within the limits of the proposed water district. And D, that it is the public interest to establish said water district and be further resolved and determined that the establishment of the Birch Hill Highview Water District and the construction and necessary improvements to the existing water system serving the residents within the proposed district are deemed to be an unlisted action pursuant to State Environmental Review Act, and is hereby declared that such action is not likely to have an adverse impact on the environment, and be further resolved and determined that the district will assume control of the existing water system, which is being conveyed to the district at no cost to the district or the town of Southeast, and shall be free and clear of encumbrances, and be further resolved and determined that the maximum amount proposed to be expended for the improvements is $275,000, and the estimated or projected cost to the typical property owner with the disposed district is $1,400 per annum, and then be further resolved and determined that the Birch Hill Highview Water District, encompassing of several lots, parcels, and pieces of real property described in Schedule A, is hereby established, subject to approval of the Office of the New York State Controller, and be further resolved and determined that this order and resolution shall be subject to the permissive referendum provided by law, town law, and state of New York, and be further resolved and determined that the town clerk and hereby is authorized and directed to publish a copy of this resolution in the official newspaper of the town of Southeast forthwith, and upon passage of 30 days after the adoption of this resolution, and no adequate petition for referendum having been filed, shall file a certified copy of this order and resolution with the office of the clerk of the county of Putnam, which is the county in which the said town of Southeast is located, and in the office of the State Department of Audit and Control within time required by law. So move for discussion.
Second?
Just a quick discussion. We put $1,400. I had a few people from Barrett Hill, Highview come in to speak to me about the $1,400. I explained to them, the first number that came forward was like, I don't know, it was a number. I don't recall exactly what it was. It was an estimate. You know, they gave a best guesstimate of what it was going to cost to do it. After the construction costs, we found out it was going to be more, and then a few additional bills came in. So the number was originally $1,200. It moved up to the $1,400. I explained it to their satisfaction. And just to note for those from this district, the $1,200 will probably remain in effect for the 2017 budget season, and we will probably take this number in 2018. Also, any monies collected by the town for this district remains within that district. We don't use any extra money, it's not used frivolously, and we can document every dime that is spent. Anyone else?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 3, resolution releasing performance bond and establish a maintenance bond, Collins Brothers, 70 Fields Lane. Now therefore be resolved that the bond amount shall be established for the project set forth below. Project name, Collins Brothers. Erosion and sediment, 2,100. Recommendation, reduce release, 0. Establish land maintenance and bond is 2 years for $572. And be further resolved that the certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and building inspector forthwith. So moved for discussion.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, resolution, releasing performance security and establishing landscape and stormwater maintenance bonds, 2 Star Ridge Road Corporation. Now therefore be resolved that the bond amount shall be established for the project set forth below. Project name, 2 Star Ridge Corp. Amount, $43,500. Release, 0. Establish landscape maintenance bond for 2 years, $6,000. Establish stormwater maintenance bond for 4 years, $4,200. And be further resolved that the town clerk shall forward a certified copy of the foregoing resolution to the planning board secretary forthwith. So move for discussion.
Second?
Tony, just so people are clear, when you said release on 2 Star Ridge Corp., the 43.5, it's reduced to 0. We're not reducing 0, okay?
Pardon?
It's just the way you said it, it sounded like we weren't reducing, but.
It's being released.
It's being released
Yes.
totally, okay,
Okay. If it sounded that way, I did say release, and I,
right.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And the last item on the agenda is number 5. We're going to set a public hearing to discuss the 2017 budget on October 20, 2016. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Recognition of public.
Tony, can I just say on the budget really quickly that you said it was online so that residents can look at
Yes.
it now. So I'd suggest, so if anyone has questions, they take a look.
And town board?
Well, someone might want to talk, I don't know. I interrupted, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm going to ask tonight to close, if no one speaks, I'm going to ask we close the meeting in memory of John King. His wife Jerry has been a longtime employee of the town of Southeast. Judge King was a state trooper for many, many years. Thank God he never pulled me over. And he's a fine man, and I just want to offer our condolences to him and his family. Anyone else? So I guess I'm closing, so I made the motion to close. Edwin, I took your job, sorry. I usually don't do that. I love the
Yeah.
longer the
But we're
meeting.
gonna go to an executive session, so we,
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
not
Close
close.
the meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we're closing the regular portion of the meeting, and I'll make a motion that we're going to go into executive session to conduct the executive session. It was first thing on the agenda.
Right, which is
Second.
contracts.
And as far as we're not going to reach any decision this evening that will affect the public in any way. So Cameron, when we're done, you can go home. We get discount because it was a short meeting?
No,
Tried. Okay, motion to go into
I like that.
executive session?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.